Haunted places in the Philippines you should dare to visit. There's something about haunted that gives us a little more courage to face the scary, creepy and daunting things in life. Maybe it's a little thrill we allow ourselves just once a year, or maybe it's the energy we get from everyone else preparing their homes, costumes and faces. Who knows? Everybody loves a spine-chilling ghost story. It is part of the Filipino culture. When Halloween is near, people want to hear about the lady in white lurking on the side of the road, wails echoing in abandoned buildings, and movements around a balete tree in a quiet, windless evening. These stories exist in different types of places, such as schools, government institutions, and even tourist attractions in the Philippines. If you're ready for these, make sure your light is on and no dark figure is standing outside your window as you read about the most haunted places in the Philippines. Number 1. Ozone Disco Club, Quezon City. More than 2 decades ago, the Ozone Disco Club was the place to see and be seen, which is why hundreds of graduates decided to celebrate their freedom from school there. But on March 18, 1996, everyone's favorite place caught fire and killed almost 200 students trapped inside. When the fire was finally resolved, authorities saw burnt bodies littered along the corridor that lead to the establishment's only exit. Guess fire exits weren't a thing then. The same space is now abandoned, of course, but residents around the area still claim hearing party music coming from the exact spot that the club used to stand. Not only that, they see silhouettes still dancing in the middle of the night. Anyone want to take their dancing shoes out for a spin? Number 2. The Diplomat Hotel, Baguio City. It may be abandoned now, but this space that dates back more than 100 years was first a seminar, a school and then a hotel. During World War II, several nuns and priests were beheaded by the Japanese soldiers there. Now visitors see headless ghosts walking around when they dare walk by themselves. Not to mention there have been claims of people hearing screams and cries of babies and children. Apparently, I wasn't safe for the young either. They were massacred along a fountain not far from the decrepit hotel. Number 3. Malinta Tunnel, Cagayan. A boat ride away from Manila Bay is Cagayan, an important island in our country's history. There were battles fought, blood that was shed and countless lives taken. And in case you aren't aware, Cagayan's Malinta Tunnel was built to be bomb-proof, and therefore became a safe haven for those on the island. Nevertheless, the long and airy tunnel eventually became a makeshift hospital. There, more than 1,000 individuals were being treated. Currently open to local and international visitors, there are countless stories of unexplained shadows, out-of-nowhere noises and sudden drops in temperature during tours. Number 4. Balete Drive, Quezon City. There are roads that must not be taken alone, like Balete Drive in Quezon City. They say the white lady that is often spotted here is the ghost of a girl who was killed in a car accident, but some believe it was a young lady who died during the Spanish colonial era. You know this place, the name is enough to give you chills, but let us tell you the story anyway. A little narrative always adds to the rising fear, doesn't it? Named after the rows of balete trees that line it, Balete Drive is something straight out of a horror flick. For one thing, baletes are known to be the homes of paranormal beings. Second, the stories of people brave enough to drive along it in the middle of the night are enough for the faint-hearted to take the longer way to their destination. More often than not, the stories are about a bloody and faceless white lady that is said to haunt the roads. You're just driving down the road but then you look at your rear view mirror and she's sitting in the back seat. Rumor has it that she was raped and killed on Balati Drive. So is she seeking vengeance? Seeking out her tormentors? Whatever her reason, motorists are well advised not to pass once the sun sets, or to have a car full of people, or to never look at the rear view mirror. Number 5. Baker Hall, University of the Philippines, Los Banos, Laguna. Underneath UP Los Banos Baker Hall is a tunnel that acted as a passageway for prisoners of war. Meanwhile, the building itself, occupied by the Japanese, was an internment camp for these Americans and Allied POWs. Supposedly, the ghosts of girded prisoners appear all the time. Number 6. Capital Medical Center, Quezon City. Hospitals generally give us the creeps as is, but the Capital Medical Center in Quezon City gives an entirely different chilling experience. All those in the know are careful not to use one particular elevator, where doctors say an orderly died. The orderly was apparently speaking to someone while getting on it and didn't notice that there was no elevator cabin, and plunged to their death. So what happens when someone does use it? Someone once went on the record to say that he and his family once used the elevator, intending to get off the second floor. But when they got it, the elevator stopped at the basement, where a man got off. The family followed the man, thinking he knew the way out. When the man turned left, so did the family. And it would have been fine, except the turn leads straight into a wall and the man they followed was nowhere to be found. Number 7. The Chapel of the Most Blessed Sacrament, De La Salle University, Manila. Old Manila may have gotten a facelift, debatable, since World War II, but the dead seem to have no problem recognizing it. DLSU's Chapel of the Most Blessed Sacrament is where many La Sallian brothers and civilians were massacred by Japanese soldiers. Some of those victims are said to still roam those pew rows with the school's staff and students swapping their own eerie sighting stories. Number 8. Mount Cristobal, Quezon. Right beside Mount Cristobal is Mount Banahaw, which is a famous destination for devotees during Holy Week. That's important to note because Mount Cristobal is known as the Devil's Mountain. Daring hikers tend to experience some paranormal activities while on their climb. Think losing their minds, getting lost despite following a trail, losing items and green neon lights appearing on the ground. Number 9. Fort Santiago, Intramuros. As the setting of hundreds of tortures and killings, it's no wonder why people say Fort Santiago remains to be the home of World War II civilians and soldiers. It is said that soldiers' ghosts still patrol the area at night, mixed in with actual guards who have the unfortunate job of keeping the haunted place safe. From what? Little piece of advice: don't talk to anyone you see dressed in uniform. Number 10. Locan Road, going to Baguio? Don't say you were not warned about this road along Scout Barrio Brangayan headed to the Philippine Military Academy area. While the road seems to be surrounded by nature, it also serves as the territory of a white lady. There's a story circulating about a taxi driver who picked up a lady in white on Locan Road. The lady asked to be taken to the 3rd cemetery, possibly the Filipino-American cemetery where World War II soldiers were buried. Before they even reached the site, the driver took a glance at the rear-view mirror and the lady was no longer there. Number 11. Kalayaan Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman. While taking the upcat seems terrifying enough, wait till you walk along the corridors of Kalayaan Hall, a residence hall exclusive for freshmen. There's a story about a Kalayaan resident assistant who called out to a girl because she might slip in the puddle of water in the hallway, but the girl just kept walking to her room. The assistant followed the girl, but when she opened the door of the girl's room, she found no one inside. Number 12. Herrera Mansion, Tiang Stone House, in Tiang, Quezon. Locals reported seeing an elderly couple walking around the house, headless soldiers near the fate, and the sound of chains being moved around in the house. Number 13. Clark Air Base Hospital in Angeles, Pampanga. This abandoned hospital served as an asylum to the wounded and dying soldiers during the Second World War and the Vietnam War. Both locals and supernatural experts claim that the premises are filled with paranormal activities and restless spirits. The Clark Air Base was once a place of refuge and solace for American soldiers during the war, but it also bore witness to countless deaths and a seemingly never-ending violence. This hospital was once featured in National Geographic's I Wouldn't Go There, where the ghost hunters called it one of the most haunted places in the world. Apparently, the souls that still reside at Clark Air Base Hospital aren't the mellow kind. They throw objects at unwelcome visitors. It's funny how a thing that's established to be a refuge often becomes a place of horror, isn't it? Number 14. College of Nursing, Be Cool University. There's a story shared online about a freshman who asked her friends to wait in the lobby after their 8 p.m. class because she had to go to the bathroom. While washing her hands, the cubicle door swung open, but she ignored it and went back to her friends. She saw one of them from a distance talking to herself. Approaching them, she noticed that her friend looked pale and asked her if they could go to their cathedral. This friend said a girl approached her, dressed exactly like her, the one who went to the bathroom, and said to the friend in Spanish saying, "I like her. Your friend in the comfort room, she's beautiful." Number 15. Le Pearl White House in Baguio City. Before it became the venue for the Philippine Bamboo Foundation's Ifugao Bamboo Carvings exhibit, the Le Pearl White House was filled with mysteries. Caretakers reported seeing a woman in white and a little girl inside the house. Number 16. Malacanang Palace. The spectral experience here may seem more like a privilege than haunting for some because people report seeing the ghosts of former presidents. Although, some employees also claim they saw a woman dressed in black looking out a window. Number 17. Teachers Camp in Baguio City. This is usually rented for corporate trainings and conferences during the day. We're just not sure who'd hold such events at night because of reported footsteps, wailing, and shadows interrupting the moonlight on walls. Anyone out there feeling a little brave? It doesn't take much to get to the places we listed, but it does take some real courage to go through with the trip. If you like this videos, please hit the like button and click subscribe. See you on the next video.